Hi, this is Puzzle, and ZOOCHOSIS is one of the most atmospheric games I've played recently. The game officially has 23 endings and a huge pack of Easter eggs, and we'll break it all down in this video. But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel, it really helps small channels like mine. Now let's start from the very beginning. You are a person who has come here for work. This is a zoo, but not an ordinary one. Something strange is happening here. To move around the zoo, the protagonist uses a special cart that takes him to various stations with different animals. But the meat you'll be feeding them smells kind of weird, and right at the start they give you an injection without asking. As you progress, more questions arise. Why are there so many posters about sick animals? Is there some kind of infection spreading in the zoo? Why did the doctor who trained you on the first day lock you in? And why can't you leave while your wife stands outside the door and you're stealing a suspiciously smelling piece of meat from the storage for her?
Lily, are you here?
Yeah.
Take this. Give Gina a kiss from Daddy. It's time for me to work.
Let's dive into it. But before we do, please like and leave a comment under this video, it really helps. Officially, ZOOCHOSIS has 23 endings. There isn't much variety in these endings though. Similar to No, I'm Not a Human, ZOOCHOSIS endings swap out dialogue based on your choices in the game. Only a few main endings include different animations and unique conclusions that stand out from the rest. Every ending you unlock gives you knowledge for another playthrough in New Game Plus. Each completed playthrough adds an enclosure with a brand new animal, giving you more mutated creatures to cure. The game suddenly ends once you return to the hub after completing 3 enclosures. Be sure to return to the hub after visiting an enclosure. Not only does this continue the story, but you can also replenish resources at the hub mailbox. You should explore storage rooms near the enclosures for extra materials to avoid getting soft locked. Speaking of exploration, in the game's hub you can find locker rooms named after famous horror film directors. Yes, this game is also horror inspired by many of their works. Just take a look at these sick animals. In the first locker you'll find a denim jumpsuit and a box with a head mask. I'm not quite sure what this references. If you know, let me know in the comments. However, the second locker is more obvious. This is Ridley Scott, the creator of Alien. Here you can find the jumpsuit of the main character from the movie, some alien vomit, a photo of the alien, and other memorabilia from the original film. The next locker is labeled David Paul Cronenberg. He's a Canadian film director, screenwriter, producer, and actor, considered a pioneer of the body horror genre, exploring themes of bodily transformation, infectious diseases, and the merging of the psychological and physical. In his locker, you'll find dead flies lying around, a reference to his famous film, The Fly. I used to be terrified of this movie as a child, so it's awesome to see the developers honor him here. Then there's Jay Carpenter, a legend of the horror genre. He directed many iconic scary films like the Halloween series, The Fog, and The Thing. It's the latter that has Easter eggs here. You can find the main character's coat, photos of huskies, and even a toy husky. Just like in the film, where the dog transforms similar to how the zoo animals mutate in this game. And then there's Wes Craven's locker. He's the creator of legendary horrors like A Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream. In his locker, you'll find Freddy Krueger's signature sweater, a clock counting down the time until you go to sleep, and his iconic hat. And just when you thought the game couldn't get any creepier, they add these Easter eggs. But let's get back to the endings. While caring for the zoo's animals, you'll notice some start to get sick. At one point, you'll be directed back to the main room to prepare the meat. I was shocked when I saw what kind of meat I had to prepare. It turns out that your decisions about the meat influence the endings. By the way, the meat called Sarah, and the first time I freed her from the grim fate of becoming animal feed. In this video, we'll focus on the main endings, but there are even more than that. If this video does well, I can make a separate one where we briefly go through all 23 endings. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button. The first ending is kinda secret final, and yeah, it's AFK ending. You can get the AFK ending at the very beginning of ZOOCHOSIS. If you don't sign the NDA but stay on the screen, Paul will throw the form away. Doc knocks Paul out, ties him up, and lowers him into the meat grinder.
Sorry, chum, but it seems you're such a dimwit that you're only good for meat.
The second ending is a bad ending. This is ZOOCHOSIS' default ending and likely the first ending you get. If you follow all of Doc's orders, no questions asked, you get an abrupt ending that sacrifices you to the mother. By following each objective, ZOOCHOSIS tricks Paul into giving a meat brick to his wife. Paul sends Sarah into the grinder and is turned into a meat block. There are two main differences with this bad ending. If you hand over the meat block but don't use the severed hand to open the office, Lily will show up at the zoo in the morning where she and Paul are killed by Doc. The alternative to this is to complete all objectives but open the office and call Lily on the phone. But it's too late, the family already ate the meat, and in the end, Paul is sacrificed to Mother. If you get attacked by mutated monsters or go through your playthrough unscathed, Paul will be fed to Mother because Doc infected him at the start of Zoochosis. Similar to this ending, you hand the meat block to Lily but neglect to tell her that it's made out of humans. To do this, you must access CJ's office with the severed hand but don't use your cell phone to call Lily if you pick it up.
Money. Bon appetit.
Variations on the bad ending can trigger by ignoring Lily at the door. She will stay at the mailbox the entire time, eventually ringing the police to tell them you're missing. Play through the game like you normally would, but this time, Paul and Lily will be fed to the mother. Alternatively, you can give Lily the meat, tell her not to consume it where you call her, and poison Sarah to end the playthrough. Doc will find Sarah and serve her to Mother at the end of the game. It seems like Paul is next, but the poison destroys Mother. She consumed Sarah off screen. Paul throws up the dead parasite, freeing himself from its grasp. The game ends as Paul swings his axe into Doc's back. Similar to this, you can take the axe after you talk to Doc in CJ's office. The kill the bitch task appears when this call ends. Interact with the axe to kill Sarah and get an ending similar to the standard conclusion. Another bad ending is achieved if you save Sarah, but you don't use the severed hand to access the basement office. This ending has Sarah trap Paul inside a cubicle. He later mutates from the parasite and is found by Doc, who gets killed in the process.
Hey, Sarah! What the hell?
Sorry, Paul. You can mutate at any moment now. And I want to live. Stay here for a while.
Bitch, I saved you!
Paul, it's morning. Where are you, my friend? It's time to check how you handled your probation. This is strange.
But let's break down the worst ending in the game. The worst ending is when Paul, Sarah, Lily, and Doc die to Mother. You need to free Sarah, access CJ's office, and create the poison. Where this ending goes wrong is to ignore Lily's phone calls and get the worst ending in Zoochosis. You need to follow these steps. Don't give Lily the meat block. Free Sarah. Find the severed hand from the clogged biowaste filter, open CJ's office with the severed hand, cure at least 3 mutated animals. Don't call Lily on your cell phone. Choose a male parasite, choose to inject the poison into Paul. Lily will either be killed by Doc or the police, depending on if you gave her the meat block at the start of your playthrough. Ignoring her phone calls is what seals her fate. Her body is seen at the end where Sarah successfully injects Doc with the poison, only for it to backfire as the vial is ineffective. Both Sarah, Lily, and Doc are eaten by Mother. It's time for a good ending. Parasites can be gathered in 2 ways. You can either kill an infected animal with 3 lethal injections or create 3 cure darts, based on the symptoms you gathered. While you can kill Mother with either a dead or live parasite, you must find the female parasite to create poison for the mother. The easiest way to find the female is to observe its behavior inside the tube. It appears that the female tries to climb out of the glass on the left-hand side of the vial while the male sits still and docile. While you only require 1 parasite, it's best to gather 4 so you increase the odds of finding the female. That way you can observe the alive parasite's behavior in storage. Something to keep in mind for these good ending variations are these key steps. Don't give Lily the meat block. Cure at least 3 infected animals and deposit the parasites in the parasite storage. Save Sarah. Find CJ's severed hand when you unclog the biowaste filter. Enter CJ's office and call Lily. Choose the female parasites from parasite storage aside from the dead one, and use the terminal to create poison for the mother. There is a variation of this ending that is good for Paul and Sarah, but awful for Lily. If you don't hand over the meat brick and ignore her phone calls, she'll assume Paul has disappeared. This results in Doc hitting her with his car and bringing her body in for Mother to eat. This dialogue repeats in a lot of endings, regardless of your final outcome, and changes if you choose to your wife's growing concerns. But the best ending, it's a secret ending, and here you can save all people. The goal for this one is to save Paul, Sarah, and Lily. You first need to hand Lily the meat brick, then free Sarah from the grinder. Following this, you need to get CJ's hand out of the by-waste filter on the side of the trolley and use it to access the basement office space. Call Lily from the low battery cell inside CJ's office to save her. You can do this as soon as you enter the office for the first time. This tells Lily not to consume the meat and protects her from Doc and the police. You don't need meat to save any mutated animals. Be sure to take the animal's temperature, blood, and stool samples and scan every animal to figure out why they're sick. Use this information to diagnose them. Finally, create and use cures for all infected animals via the terminal and rifle. As you collect parasites from the infected animals using their corresponding cure darts, you need to squeeze the female parasite from the parasite storage to create the poison. Paul and Sarah poison Doc and kill Mother, resulting in the removal of parasites from all affected organisms, including Paul. Learning that CJ and Sarah were having an affair by answering Linda's phone call alters Sarah's dialogue when she injects Doc with the poison.
I'm okay. Let's get out of here. At least that bastard didn't lie about one thing. I survived the night, and now I have this car.
As you can see, there are plenty of moments in the game that you can miss, potentially ruining the ending you want. I hope this video helps you unlock all of them. If you'd like even more secrets, as I mentioned earlier, please leave a comment and I'll know you're interested in seeing such a video. This was Puzzle, and see you soon.